BTS's Jin left alone in camp. Jungkook finally opens up after concert. What happened? The issue of BTS's Jin being left alone in a military camp has rocked armies around the world. This news was increasingly discussed after Jungkook finally spoke up after his big, successful concert. However, the question that continues to haunt fans' minds is, what really happened? BTS's Jin lonely in the camp, or just an exaggerated issue? As the first member of BTS to serve in the military, Jin had to face different challenges compared to other members. Not only did he have to adjust to the harsh military life, but he also had to accept the fact that for a time, he would be separated from his comrades. Some reports say that Jin was seen alone in the camp without a visit from the other BTS members. This issue made many fans wonder, is Jin really left alone? Or is it just the media exaggerating the situation? A source from the military environment revealed that Jin actually had the full support of his fellow units. However, rumors growing among fans still make many people speculate. Jungkook finally opens his voice. What really happened? After this news spread widely, Jungkook finally gave a statement that made the ARMY even more surprised. In a live stream session after his successful solo concert, Jungkook was seen sighing before finally responding to a question about Jin. "Hyung is fine, really. We keep in touch, and he is strong as always," Jungkook said in a reassuring tone. However, there was one moment that made ARMY even more emotional. When talking about Jin, Jungkook was seen lowering his head for a moment, as if holding back the rising emotions. "I know you miss him. I miss him too. But he did his best, and we have to trust him," he added. Does this mean that Jungkook actually feels sad about Jin's situation as well? Or is there something bigger that hasn't been revealed yet? Why has the issue of Jin being left alone become so big? It's no secret that BTS has a very close relationship, almost like a family. Since the beginning of their debut, the members have always supported each other in all situations. Therefore, it was hard to imagine that Jin was completely left alone without any attention from the other members. However, several factors make this rumor grow even more. Lack of interaction on social media since serving in the military. Jin has appeared less often on social media. This made many fans feel that he was really far away from BTS. The busyness of the other members with an increasingly busy individual schedule. It is indeed more difficult for other BTS members to show their togetherness in person. Jungkook with his solo concerts, Jimin and V with their respective projects, as well as Suga, who is busy with his tours and activities, make the moments together less and less visible. Media and fan speculation news about a K-pop idol serving in the military has always attracted attention. Coupled with the fact that Jin is the first BTS member to experience it, of course, any information about it will be in the spotlight. However, was Jin really abandoned? Or is this just a narrative formed by the media to create a sensation? ARMY made to wonder, is BTS really changing? Over time, BTS has grown more and more both as a group and individually. Their journey to global success brought major changes in their lives, and for some fans, this can feel like a sign of a split. However, does this really mean that their relationship is weakening? Jungkook himself confirmed that although they are now going through their respective projects, their relationship remains strong. "We're still BTS. We're still family. Don't believe everything you read on the internet," Jungkook said in the live stream. However, his serious facial expression made many people wonder, was there anything else he was hiding? Does Jin feel isolated? Fact or just conjecture? On several occasions, Jin himself has stated that he enjoyed his time in the military despite initially finding it difficult to adapt. He even mentioned that many of his fellow soldiers supported him and encouraged him. However, when a fan asked her on the Weverse platform if she was feeling lonely, Jin simply replied with a smiley emoji. Does this mean he's really okay? Or just trying to calm the ARMY down? The ARMY is now divided into two. Some believe that Jin is fine, and only the media exaggerate this issue. Some feel that something is not right and BTS may be facing major changes that are not announced to the public. Conclusion: truth or just a sensation? To date, there is no concrete evidence that Jin was really left alone in the camp without the support of his comrades. However, the growing speculation has led many fans to question whether BTS is really still the same as they used to be. Jungkook may have tried to calm ARMY down with his words, but was it enough to dispel all doubts? ARMY's love and support will never change, and they will continue to support Jin, Jungkook, and all the BTS members on their journey. However, one question remains hanging over many people's minds. Is BTS still what it used to be, or is this the beginning of a bigger change? What do you think, ARMY? Is Jin really okay, or is there something deeper that we don't know yet? Is BTS Jin really left alone, or just an issue? ARMY, what do you think? After the news of BTS's supposedly abandoned Jin alone in a military camp went viral, armies around the world were divided in various opinions. Some believe that Jin did have to deal with his loneliness as part of his military service, while others suspect that this was just a media strategy to appeal to fans. However, the question that still hangs over the minds of many people is this incident real, or is it just a created sensation? Has the media been exaggerating the circumstances, or is there really something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about yet? Fact or drama? What exactly happened? In his statement, Jungkook tried to calm ARMY down by saying that Jin was fine and they were still communicating. However, his expression and tone when talking about Jin made many fans wonder, was he just trying to comfort ARMY, or was there a feeling that he was hiding? Some skeptical ARMY consider that the entertainment industry often uses moments like this to create a stronger emotional attachment with fans. If you look at the history of the K-pop world, there are many examples where seemingly dramatic situations ended up being revealed as part of a marketing strategy. But on the other hand, there are also those who think that this news is only exaggerated by the media and is not entirely accurate. Jin did undergo military service, and as an active soldier, he had to abide by strict military rules, including limitations on interacting with the outside world. Does that mean he's completely abandoned, or is he just adjusting to a new military life? ARMY split. Multiple emerging perspectives after this news circulated. Various reactions emerged among the ARMY. Jin is fine. Don't overdo it. Some fans believe that Jin is a strong figure and does not need to be pitted. They consider that this is part of his life now as a soldier, and everyone should respect his privacy. The media exaggerates the situation too much. There are also those who think that the media deliberately exaggerates this news to attract more clicks and engagement. Jin may not have really been left out, but the media took advantage of the situation to make it sound more dramatic. Jungkook looks sad. Maybe there really is a problem. Some fans caught on that when Jungkook talked about Jin, his facial expression looked serious. Does this mean he's hiding something? Is there a sense of guilt for not being able to visit Jin as often as he would like? This could be a tactic to keep the ARMY's attention. The world of K-pop is no stranger to emotion-based marketing strategies. Some have speculated that the Jin alone in the camp narrative may have been deliberately created to keep the ARMY engaged and ensure BTS remains a hot topic in the entertainment world. Is BTS still what it used to be? As time went on, BTS grew more and more as individuals. In the past, they were always together in every important moment, but now, each member began to live a different career path. Although Jungkook has made it clear that BTS remains one family, some fans are beginning to feel that there is a growing distance between them. However, is this really a sign of a split? Or is it just a natural change that occurs because they are now focused on different things? Is Jin really abandoned? To date, there has been no hard evidence to the effect that Jin was actually abandoned by his comrades. All we see are bits and pieces of information that can be interpreted in different ways. Does this mean that we should fully believe in this news? Or, on the contrary, questioning everything we read and not being directly affected by emotions?